Too much of work for the year. Now, as I told you, from today we are going to start working with the software Mayuri, right? So before starting the software, last week we discussed that we are going to use the Mayuri as a software, and I hope you all have just searched a few software that are used in the industry. Have you? I mean, when we get some new information, we usually used to search some additional information in the AI platforms. Those days we were Googling, but now we don't use Google, we use AI. Have you searched anything about computerized accounting packages for Mayuri? Yes or no? Have you? No? Right. So from today we will start working with the Mayuri software. Can anyone guess what is the meaning of Mayuri? What is the meaning of Mayuri? There are big 4 capital letters, Mayuri. What is the meaning of it? Yes. Any guesses? Any guesses? Mind your own business. Right? That is true. That is correct. The meaning is mind your own business. So those who want to mind their own business properly, they have to make sure their accounts, their financials are properly recorded without errors, without mistakes. So if you have Mayuri, you can mind your own business because this software is simple. Anyone can easily use it, right? So you don't have to have a highly qualified chartered accountant to operate Mayuri software. So anyone can mind their own business using this software, right? So before starting the software, we are going to okay, everyone can you all pay attention to this? I want your attention from both sides. Right? Now, throughout these 14 lessons, the remaining 14 lessons, we are going to live in a case, live in a real case. So you are going to be the accountant of that company. Okay, we are going to discuss a case. You will be the accountant of that company. So you should know the story of the business in and out. Right? So then only you know. So now we are going to amend our tax codes. Now we are going to set up our accounts. Now we are going to purchase from this particular supplier. Okay. So like that, you should know in and out of the business before starting. Apart from IoT, the software, you know the role of the accountant is changing. I hope you are listening this same story from everyone, right? The role of the accountant is changing. Some people, some different other discipline people, they are saying accountant's role is dying. It's a wrong statement. Accountant's role is changing, right? So accountant is not expected to do a reporting role in the future. Right? In the past, accountant's requirement was to report something and provide the report. All right. So that era is over because reporting can be done by a very basic person with the knowledge in accounting. He or she need not be an accountant, right? A very basic person who is good with this software package can report. They can handle the financial reporting part, right? But accountant's role is going to be more strategic in the future. It's going for the decision making level, right? And it's going to be business acumen involved. You should know the business, right? So just to tell you a real story. I hope you all are working somewhere. Hands up those who are working in organizations. Nobody firm, where. Then hands up those who are not working. Not working anywhere. So what I did in the 5 days. Staying home. You just listen. Eating and sleeping. That is also good. Now, when I started my internship, I a real story. When I started my internship, I started my career in apparel industry. I was not a chartered accountant, I was a SEMA accountant. I was qualified by that time. When I started my first job as an accountant, as not an accountant, as an inter finance, that is how they call it, inter finance. I thought I will be given a nice chair, nice environment, air conditioned room, all that. Because I was SEMA qualified. Plus, I was in the third year in my undergraduate degree also. For the internship, we were allowed to do. Then the first thing they told me was you have to stay in all the divisions, all the sections. I mean, one day in each section. You are given 1 week of orientation. You have to just go and stay in different sections. What are the sections in an apparel company? Garment, apparel garment. That's what are the sections? Operation sewing section, Mahana, production line, cutting section, stores, what else? The packing, right? The other office, main administrative office, all that, right? Then I was staying and I was wondering what happened to me. I gave the SEMA qualification. Now I'm staying in the stores, counting labels with other labels. I'm supporting all that. The label guide, government. ඊට පස්සේ හොඳට මහන්න විතරක් මට දුන්නේ නැහැ. අනිත් ඒ ඔක්කොම කරන්න දුන්නා. I was in all the areas packing. I was helping packing, right? All that. After that week, completing that week, I was required by the general manager to provide a report about how we can improve the operation. How we can improve the operation of this organization, because I was working in different sections and I saw certain things. They called me fresh blood, so I'm looking from a different perspective. They wanted to see what are the possible improvements I can suggest and what did I learn, right? So I prepared a nice report. That time we didn't have ChatGPT. I had to prepare it on my own. I had some photographs also and pasted on that. This machine can be improved. This layout can be changed slightly. All that different things according to my understanding. I provided a nice report and I had the report and went to his room. Then he asked me the first question. I was expecting strategic level questions like how to finance the company, how to expand the operations like that. I was expecting that kind of questions from him. He asked me a simple question. How many bobbins are there in an overlock machine? That's the question he asked. General manager. He's not a machine operator. He's a general manager. He asked me how many bobbins are there in an overlock machine. Do you know overlock machine? In an overlock machine, how many bobbins are there? You all have not even touched it. Have you gone for factory visits in an apparel industry? Have you seen how overlock machines are working? Garments වල නගුවට පස්සේ වාටිය ඇහිලා යන්න ගහන්නේ ලෙහෙන්නේ. ඒක තමයි overlock machine. Bobin එක කියන්නේ machine එකේ යට තියෙන පොඩි කෑල්ලක්. ඉතින් needle එක ගියාම ඒකේ නූල අරගෙන තමයි rotate වෙන්නේ. ඒක වැඩ කරනවා මේ වැඩ කරනවා. ඉන්දර machine තියෙන අය බලන්න කියන ඇවිල්ලා ඒක වැඩ කරනවා. ඒකෙන් තමයි යට තියෙන thread එක දෙන්න අපිට. Right? Fortunately, while I was there in the operation line, I heard someone say, "මේකේ bobin නැහැ කියලා." There are no bobbins in the overlock machine. Right? There are two thread, three thread like that. There are different types of machines, but all are within rule code. But in the way operate training, there are no bobbins. Right? And I said there are no bobbins. He said he appreciated me and didn't ask any question from the report. Right? I'm telling the story, real story. He didn't ask any question. Okay, you are good. You start your accounting work. Our chief accountant is there. He will train you. You did your training. Right? And next day, he did you wonder about my question? Right? Then I said, then he said, I said, yes, I was wondering, but anyway, okay, the accountant training. He said, you are going to be the accountant one day in this company if you stay here. Right? Then you should know when you get an invoice for bobbins, for all of machines, you should know this is a fraudulent invoice. Okay? And I get an invoice to sign and approve. Accountant is approving the invoices. Right? For we purchased 10 bobbins for all of machines. And you should know this is a fake invoice. There are no bobbins in the all of machine. Right? So the lesson he told me, being the accountant, you should not do only the reporting role, then people will play around. All right? You should understand the business. If you don't know the business, the accountant's role is very limited, and in the future, you will struggle at your work. Right? Therefore, having that understanding, I'm approaching this case study because I want you all to understand this business, live in this business, right? Then only you will realize what is happening. Okay, right. So we are going to read a small case study. This case study describes about how this business has started. Okay, while learning how this business is started, you are going to learn the nature of the business, what are the products and services they are going to offer, right? How they are going to finance their business, and what is the legality and reporting responsibility of this business, right? Nothing related to accounting. You are going to learn the business. All right. Right. Let's start reading this. Can you read the first paragraph? I have kept the name for number of batches. I have kept this same name, SAP Cricket Club. So it's convenient for you to remember. SAB Cricket Club, Private Limited. So this is the background. Read the first paragraph. Take 5 minutes and read the first paragraph carefully. While reading, you can enjoy the case, but you have to understand the scope of this business. Ready? That's I'm asking questions. Huh? If you are the accountant, if someone comes and asks you the questions about your business, you can't say, I don't know how the business is working. I'm just reporting. If I ask me how much of assets do I have, I know that, but I don't know what is business. You can't say that, right? But in your business, how your business is started. That's fine. But the license. Right. Now the story is Hasun is the owner of Sap Cricket Club, while his good friend Priyanta is the owner of the New Central Cricket Club. So there are two cricket clubs. One is Sap Cricket Club. There is an owner called Kasun, and there is another friend. Priyanta is an owner of another cricket club. For many years, members of these cricket clubs have complained about the inadequate practice facilities at their respective clubs. But the land adjoining the clubs is taken up by housing and is too expensive for the club to acquire. So these are two small cricket clubs. For a cricket club, there are some essential features. They should have a ground. They should have a small sheltered area, so there may be pavilion and all that area, and a small office to operate their other services and all other operations. So they are having these two clubs, but they can't expand the facility. Cricketers are complaining, or they can't run good. I mean, maybe considerable amount of matches they can't run. They are complaining, but they can't do anything about it. They can't expand it. It is surrounded by housing. So what he expand the ban you can't but if there are houses, you can't without their permission, without their agreement, you can't expand it. So it's a serious problem they are facing, right? And then late in 2023, so the story runs in 2023 to 2024. Okay? In 2023, following the financial demise of a local athletic club. Now, a local athletic club has been bankrupted. Now they are going to a large parcel of land owned by the government became available. Now that land was owned by the government. Now that club is gone. Now we are going to now that land is available, right? But that was an athletic club. I hope you understand the difference between an athletic club and a cricket club, right? Athletic club is different. So you have the track around the ground, and that's the thing. In a cricket club, you have the pitch in the center. So it's different, right? The land is different. So Hasan and Priyanta, with the backing of their respective clubs, because they have experience now, they are running their own cricket clubs. With the backing of their respective clubs, put a proposal to the government to establish a cricket ground on this land. The council agreed to a 20-year lease of the land, so long as the ground is available to the general public. Right? Now they are putting a proposal. Anyone just can't go and put a proposal to do something. So the government will look at the feasibility of offering this facility, but they have the right due experience because they are running their own clubs. So they put up a proposal to take this land for a cricket club, and government lands you can't sell usually, right? Even though now in our political arena we say this government has sold this land, this government has sold this asset, all that. Usually they are given for lease, right? Usually when it's given for 99-year lease, we call that sold, right? But here, in this case, it's genuinely a lease for a 20-year. They are asking for that lease facility, and council agreed to give this, but you have to make sure this ground is not only restricted for the members, it should be available for the general public also to hire that for matches and all, right? That is the agreement. Okay. So in the next paragraph, Kasun and Priyanka formed a company. Now they have formed a new company. These two are two different individuals, right? These two are going to go together to put up the proposal. Now they are going to form a company called Sap Cricket Club Private Limited, right? Cricket Club Private Limited. I hope you can remember in your advanced level you learn what is the nature of a private limited, right? To lease the land from the government and use it for business venture. what are the special characteristics of a private limited? Because here you have two people. They could have started a partnership, but they have not started a partnership. They have gone for a private limited. Right? What are the special features of a private limited compared to a partnership or a sole proprietorship? Compared to a partnership or a sole trader, what is the specialty in a private limited company? Very good. The owners have a limited liability to the capital they have invested to the business. Right? In simple terms, if the business goes on bankruptcy, their own properties will not be affected. Let's say they invested 10 million, only 10 million is the loss. Any debtor or whatever can, any creditor can recover only that 10 million. They can't touch on anything else, right? And also they have a separate legal personality. In the court of law, the company is a separate legal person, right? If anyone wants to sue against the company, they can sue against the company, not against the person, right? Asumna and Priyanka is same in that case. Okay. So you just to have to understand, you are going to be the accountant of this company. So you are running a private limited company. All right. So you are going to keep accounts for this legal body, not for Kasun or Priyanka. Right. Anyway, that is the accounting principle. What is it? Single entity concept, right? Business entity concept. So you are going to account for the business anyway. So this is legally you are reporting for this company, right? And then under the terms of the lease, the company paid for earthwork and other improvements to the land. Kasun and Priyanka also installed a demountable building on the site for sale and repair of cricket bats, sheltered area for cricketers to practice during the day, and lighting for the night practices. So right, because this project involves okay, this project involves a lot of earthwork. As I told you, athletic club is completely different from a cricket club, cricket ground. So you have to do earthwork. You have to completely change the ground setting and everything. And also they have installed a demountable building. Why a demountable building? Demountable building. You have seen these supermarket, large supermarkets, huge supermarkets. They are demountable buildings. They are built with steel. They are not built with brick and mortar. Have you noticed that? Because those huge buildings are built on someone else's land, right? The හරියටම ටවුන් එක අයිනේ තියෙන ඒ වගේ ලොකු land එකක් ඒ company එකටම ගන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ සමහර වෙලාවට. They will be owners of those lands. But they find, for example, if you take supermarket like Keels, they need huge parking facility and a huge space to build their stores. Have you just noticed that they are demountable buildings made with steel? Right? Because they are running on a lease. This company is also running on a lease. Cricket club. Therefore, they can't build fixed buildings. They are legally prohibited. Okay. So they are building a demountable building. Why they are building a demountable building? That is important. They need some sheltered area for cricketers to practice indoor, for indoor practices, right? And they want some lighting for the night practices. And also they are going to what? They are going to sell and repair cricket bats and equipment, right? They are going to sell cricket bats, so they are going to run some retail operation as well. Okay, they are going to run some retail operation as well, cricket bats or other equipments operation. Now, this information are important for the accountant. This is going to be your product range. This is going to be how you are going to generate revenues, right? Your income accounts will come along around this, right? And then construction of the facility commenced in January 2023, and the business opened late in March 2023, right? You are ready to start the business by March 2023, right? And the business earned income from the sale of cricket bats and other cricket equipment, cricket bat repair service, fees for individual or group lessons conducted by Kasun and Priyanka. So these two people are cricket experts. They can teach cricket. I mean, they can train cricket on the site, and fee for use of cricket ground. When they are hiring the cricket ground, they can charge fees. Cricketers must pay a fixed charge for the use of ground depending on the match. When there is a match, they are paying a fixed charge. I want you all to read that paragraph again, once again, because that paragraph is really important. The last paragraph just now we referred. So that paragraph is too important to miss because that contains your entire product range. For the accountant, that is essential. Can you read it again? The business earns income from. The business earns income from. Read it again. Right? Now I want a list of your products. You are the accountant. I want a list of your products, your business's products. What are you going to say? You are going to sell cricket bats and cricket equipment. That is one major income source. And then you are going to provide cricket bat repair services, right? When they are branded cricket bats, you can't just throw it away when they are broken. You can repair them, and you can, because they are expensive, and you can repair them, right? So that repair service you are providing, and you are having a service of fees for individual or group lessons, cricket lessons. You are training the players. It can be either individual lessons. If you are a startup, I mean, if you are starting your cricket career, you can learn individual, or you can go as a group. Maybe schools as a small groups you can go, right? So it's another service, and also fee for cricket ground. If you are having a match in that cricket club, so you have to pay a fixed fee for the match, right? So those are going to be your sales or income generating sources. Okay, so that is the understanding. And then Asun and Priyanta established the business as a private company, Sub Cricket Club Private Limited, registered the business name, obtained the company registration number, and register the business for value added tax, right? So they have taken the business registration. So now it's a formally established company, and they have registered for value added tax, right? Because they are buying and selling, and also they are providing services for goods and services tax in Sri Lankan context, that is value added tax, right? Okay. So what is the prevailing value added tax rate? 18%, right? For financial services, for different services, now it has gone to 20.5%, right? Some economic experts say it can be, that rate can be applied to other products and services as well in the future. I don't know. It's going to be a hard time if that happens. Whatever it is. Currently, it's 18% for all the goods and services. So they are going to go with that. Then they arrange the company's finances through. Now, this is important for the accountant. They are going to, they have arranged the company finances through the Sampath Bank current account. Okay, they have a current account in Sampath Bank, right? I just put this name, right? I have not taken any sponsorship from Sampath Bank. So they are going to have a current account there and organizing a loan, long-term bank loan of 1.5 million. The bank loan is secured by mortgages over the private residences of Kasun and Priyanka. I want you to read that. Now, last sentence is the loan was arranged to be drawn down in installments. Anyway, that is how the loans are given. Giving an installment. Once you build half of it, then the other part of the loan will be given. That's okay. Proceed deposited by the bank account electronically to the business check account. Now, I want you to read that the long-term bank loan of 1.5 million. The loan is secured by the mortgages over the private residencies of Kasun and Priyanka. Don't you see a problem in that state? This is a private limited company, right? The company is getting a loan. When a company is getting a loan, they can't be mortgaged against the private residences of the owners, because the owner is a separate party. Company is the legal person. Anything that is owned by the company can be mortgaged, right? So in accounting, we have a concept called substance over form. Have you heard that? Haven't you heard it? Substance over form. Right? The legal status is important, right? Legal status is important, but apart from the legal status, we are looking at the real substance, real situation, what has happened here. Based on that only we identify the transaction, right? Now in this case, correctly, if you take this is think this is if this is a loan by the company, it cannot be mortgaged against the personal residencies of these people. But if this is a personal loan taken by this owner, that can be mortgaged against their private residences, right? So in the real instance, this is not actually a loan for the company. This is a loan for Kasun and Priyanka, and they have invested this money in the business. So this is going to be the equity they have invested to the business. The loan is taken by these two people. That is why their personal residences are mortgaged. Invest personal properties mortgage එකට තියලා loan එක අරගෙන තියෙනවා. අරගෙන ඒක මේ business එකේ invest කරලා තියෙනවා. So from the business perspective, you are the accountant of the business. For you, Asun and Priyanka has given 1.5 million. Right? You don't have to worry about the mortgage, their personal mortgages. Right? So this is the equity investment. All right? Understood? So that type of understanding should be there. Right. So that is the case. Okay? That is the case. Now you are going to start creating the company, and we are going to see how we can right. We are going to record or initiate this business, right, with Mayobi. In the second page of the document, you are given some technical information very clearly on how to fill when you are starting the company. Okay, right. So to start with creating this company in Mayobi, I want you all to look at the desktop of your computers, and there will be an icon for the Mayobi accounting accounting plus V17, right? Do you see this green color icon? Mayobi accounting plus V17. So double click can open that software. Just open the software to this level. Don't click any other buttons. අර මේ පොත ඕකේ යට පිටි එක ක්ලෝස් කරගෙන ඉන්නේ. ලින්ක් ක්ලෝස් කරලා ඒක මැක්සිමයිස් කරන්න. fingerprint activate. Okay. So this is the interface. I mean, this is the starting appearance of the software, right? It's very simple. It's very simple. Now there are 5 buttons in the first page, right? There are 5 buttons in the first or starting phase. We'll try the Japanese approach from bottom to top. What can we do with the exit button, last button? A difficult question. You can just exit the software. You can just close down the software, right? Exit button. Then from the what's new button, you can search for new versions, latest versions of MyOB software. That is nothing to do with accounting. That is to search for new versions of the MyOB package, software package, right? You can search for new versions. If you are applying this for a real company, you can search for the latest version and take the license of that, right? And then in the Explore button, using the Explore button, you can open a sample company that is already created in MyOB, and you can walk around the company, different accounts, journal entries, suppliers, customers, transactions, all that. You can just have a walk around, right? By exploring a real a sample company that is already created. Right? You can do it leisurely when you have time to see how the transactions will appear in this. And then we have 2 buttons to use: create button and open button. Right? Create button is the button we use to create a new account, new company file when you are starting a business for the first time. Right? So today we are going to start with the create button because we don't have any other company. We are going to start this business as a new business. So we are going to use the create button. After creating the company, there will be a company file generated. We are going to store it in a folder, right? And thereafter, every day you are coming and selecting this open button, right? You will be going through the open button to open the same company, right? So it can create multiple company files, hundreds of company files you can create, right? So using the open button, from the next week, you will be starting with the open button. Right? Only today you are using the create button to create a new company. That is simple as that, right? So we will be on the create button, create a new company. Okay. So as I told you, MyOB is very simple. You can easily work on that because it's giving all the instructions step by step, right? Actually, if you have used to any other software, you should be able to learn this by your own without a lecturer, right? But some of you may be not familiar with software. That's why I'm here. Read the first introduction, right? Introduction, and just try to understand what you are required to do in this. Read the introduction, take 2 minutes. Right? So it says, for you to create a new company, you don't have to have a high-tech knowledge, right? You should answer a few questions that are required by the software. Okay. Software will ask you to answer a few questions. Once you answer those questions, the software will create the company file for you. You don't have to be a tech expert to create the company file. All right. Okay. So we'll go to the next step. Click the next button to continue. Click the next button. Okay. Now here there are some fields to fill. The first field is serial number. Serial number is the number to activate your company file on the software. If you have bought a license for MyOB, then you have to enter that serial number, then your company file ID, the software will be activated. Right? But I don't think we can buy those licenses for each and every student. Therefore, we are not going to register the company file. We are going to go with the student version, which is a temporary version. That company file you are creating today will last only for 90 days. Will be active. Okay. All right. The company file will be active only for 90 days. 90 days is 3 months. So within 3 months, we have to somehow complete our learning. Okay. Otherwise, the company file will be expired. Software doesn't expire, but the company file will be expired. Then you will have to create the company file again. You can create any number of company files, but within 3 months, you have to finish it off. Right? Then we are not entering any serial number, but we have to go with the company name. Okay. Without a company name, you can't do anything. That's why it's a required field. Right? With the star, it's a required field. What is the company name according to this document? SAP Cricket Private Limited. See, SAP Cricket Private Limited. You have to type that. SAP Cricket Private Limited. Okay. And Lamai, after typing that, I want you to have a small hyphen and type the 3 last digits of your student number. I mean, your student number, you have the last identification number, let's say 123 or 094, like that. Enter that number. Since I don't have a number, I enter 000. Are you going here? Enter the type. You have to have your company file. And after that, you are entering why you don't have computer? You cannot bring the laptop if you are having laptop. You can download and install the software, bring your laptop. So it's have a anyway, you have to maintain this. Anyway, you have to maintain your own company file. The continuous assignment, as I told you, there is a submission. Right? You have to have your own company file to submit. Therefore, you can't rely on your friends, the company file. Okay? Enter your student number. And then ABN. ABN is Australian Business Registration Number. Right? Because these are Australian software. In Sri Lanka, we don't have an ABN, but we can't proceed without giving a number. Therefore, there is a hypothetical number just given. You can take that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Just give that number. Right. After typing that number, press tab key to move from one field to another. Use the tab key in your keyboard. Always remember that. That is the easiest way. Use the tab key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. That is the number. Okay. Don't click OK. Well. Enter. If there's a format problem, All right. Did you get a notification? The notification says there should be a particular format, right? There should be a particular format of entering the ABN because you just entered the numbers. So click OK, then it will convert that number into that format. Just click OK if you got that formatting notification, right? All right. Then go to the address. So you have to enter this address number 236.3D. 236.3D. The second line is Templeton Road. Colombo 7. Right? Then you can enter the phone number. 0112 635 583. 583. And the fax number is 0112 635 584. Okay, and there is no any email address specified here, right? There's no email address specified here, but we'll just enter an email address. sapcricket@gmail. sapcricket@gmail. sapcricket@gmail.com. Okay. These are the basic information of the company profile. Right. If you all enter this basic information, now you are for this data entry, your typing speed is also important. But I know unfortunately the typing speed doesn't improve with the AI. Right, because this we were typing a lot in the lobby. I mean, you want to type that's the problem. Therefore, not improving that much, but anyway, we have to try to a bit. Because in the final examination, you are getting a printed paper. You can't copy and paste the names and stuff. Okay. So you have to, whatever the items you are creating, the names you are creating, you have to type on your own. Just like a real account assistant. Okay. Right. So let's go to the next step. If you completed this stage, you can go to the next stage. Click next. Right. This is an important. This stage is really important because this stage is creating your accounting year. Okay. If you make a mistake at this stage, you can't reverse it. You can't change. Right? Then what you can do is you can create a new company file again. That is possible, but within the company file you can't edit it. Right? The previous information you can edit. The company address you can edit. The company telephone number you can edit. Because company can be moving from one place to another place. That is possible, right? Address can change. Even your email address can change, right? But the starter year can't change. in your company, the starting year, it can't change, right? In 2023, you started your this. Can it change? That's why then I have to have the pattern. Even game then, this is Dunenam Patangate, it's always started in 2023. Therefore, this year you are setting, whatever the year you are setting, cannot be changed, right? Therefore, you have to carefully pick that. A financial year, just read it properly. A financial year is the 12 months timeline used to define your accounting year. Okay, it's a 12 months timeline. And it does not have to match the calendar year. What is the calendar year? January 1st to 31st December, right? That is the calendar year. But this year should not match the same calendar year. But what is your, so it's asking what is your financial year? Here you are required to fill current financial year, right? What is the meaning of current financial year? It is the year in which, right? It is the year in which the last month of your financial year is located, right? Now, what is your financial year? What is your real financial year? When does it start and when does it end? Yes. When does it start and when does it end? Your business was ready to start by March 2023, right? So usually we have two financial year formats. One is starting from January 1st, ending at 31st December, right? The other format is starting on 1st of April and ending at 31st March, right? In this company, what is the suitable financial year? 23-24. If it is 23-24, then you are starting your business on 4th April 2023. No, sorry, 1st of April. 1st of April 2023. And your financial year ends on 31st March 2024. Right? Since your last month of the financial year is in 2024, your current financial year should be 2020. Is that clear? Current financial year is the year in which your last month of the financial year is. That is the instruction given in the software. Okay. So it should be 2024. All right. Did you understand that? Current financial year is the year in which the last month of your financial year is located. ඔයාගේ financial year එකේ අන්තිම මාසයේ තියෙන අවුරුද්ද තමයි මේක දාන්නේ. හරි. ඒකට අන්තිම මාසෙ තියෙන්නේ මාර්තු 31. මාර්තු 31 කියන්නේ මාර්තුනේ අන්තිම මාස මාර්තු 31 2024. එතකොට 2023 දැම්මොත් වැරදි. ඒ starting year එක නෙමෙයි ending place එක තියෙන තැන තමයි year එක ගන්න ඕනේ. All right. Clear? Then when does your current financial year end? When? March, right? Then Mayobi accounting requires that you choose a conversion month, right? A conversion month. What is the meaning of conversion month? The conversion month is the month in which you choose to begin entering transactions. You choose to begin entering transactions. Transactions enter karaka patan ganna. Which month? According to our financial year. April. April, right? April. So select April. And number of accounting periods in a year. අවුරුද්දට මාස කිහිපයක්. 12. But there's a drop down. There's a drop down menu. Click on that and try. අවුරුද්දට මාස 12යි කියලා පොඩි කාර්ය කරලා දාන්න. But there's a drop down arrow. ඒකේ මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? In the drop down, what is available? 30. අලුත් එකක් නේ. අවුරුද්දට මාස 13යි. Right? Now, the meaning is, it doesn't mean that year has 13 months. It means, are you willing to conclude your financial year exactly by the 12 months? Or do you want an additional month to make adjustments? Right? Do you want to keep your the financial year open for one more month to make the adjustments? Right? That is true, right? So in certain cases, some recovery, some close down of accounts, some finalizing, all that stuff requires one additional month at least. Right? Therefore, sometimes you may need, in a real company, sometimes you may need that 13th month. But in this case, we are not running up to one whole year of transactions. Right? Therefore, we will stop at 12 months. That is okay. But just know that there is an option to go for an additional month as well. Right? So we will keep that at 12 months. All right. Now check whether these numbers are correct. Current financial year is 2024. Last month of the financial year is March. Conversion month is April. And number of accounting periods is 12. Okay. The same information is given in this as well. See, current financial year 2024. Last month is March. Conversion month is April. Number of periods is 12. Right? I didn't just refer to this because I wanted you to understand why we chose those numbers. But in the paper, no one will come and give this nice table for you to pick out 2024, March, April, 12. But then, accountant. So you'll be given a story. So from the story, you have to pick what are the numbers. Okay. However, you have to make according to that. This should be 2026. You have to enter. Right? Therefore, have that understanding, and also for your online quiz, not online quiz, you are doing it here. Mid-semester quiz. This knowledge is important. If there's a question, MCQ, asking, what do you mean by the conversion month? Right? You should know what is the meaning of conversion month. Right? But if you are required to, if you asked, what is the current financial year? Right? Then you should know what is current financial year. Okay. Therefore, because the quiz is coming from entirely from the software, my opinion. Nothing from anything extra, any knowledge on cloud computing, this and nothing from that. It's completely from the software. Right? Therefore, you have to be masters of this software. Right. After entering this information, you can click on the next button. Then it's giving you a second chance to check these numbers, check these financial year details, and to confirm. Okay, you can see here financial year is April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. And your conversion month is April 1st, 2023. So that information is correct. Okay, that because they are giving another chance to check this properly, because once you confirm this, you can't change it. Can't change, right? Even in the examination, selecting the right accounting year is important. Otherwise, you will be choosing a different accounting year. You will be entering transactions on a different accounting year. Then, when you try to generate the financial reports or final reports, right? Final accounts, you can't run it properly. You'll be in trouble. Therefore, make sure you set the accounting year accurately. Okay. Then you can click OK. Next. You can click on the next button. Right. Then we are going to build our accounts list. Right. Most important thing for an accountant. Accounts list. Right. You are given to 3 options. Read the 3 options and tell me which option you will choose. I am going to start with my OB accounts list. You are given 3 options. Read the 3 options and tell me which option you will choose. Hands up those who say we should better go with the first option. No one. No one, right? Okay, true. Then hands up those who say we should go with the second option. Second option. Raise your hand. Don't look at others. Very few. One, two, three. Very few. Hands up those who say it's third option. Another few of you, right? Then hands up those who say I don't go with any of these options. I'm going to close down this option and go home. Right. Apart from IOB, you always have your own say. Whatever the friends think, whatever the room thinks. Right? You have three joints in your hand. This is called shoulder, this is called elbow, and this is called what? Wrist. Right? All three joints are working in a healthy person. Right? So use all three when you are raising your hand like this. Okay? Don't look at your friends, what they are doing. Have your own preference, have your own decision. Decision making is important for an accountant. Arjandar, you have to make the decision. Okay? Train your mind to do that. That is called leadership. Right. Now, let me explain. Okay? I hope you all can hear. You all can hear, man. Right. Now, if you look at the first option is I would like to start with one of the lists provided by IOB account. Right? That means I'm going to make a list given by IOB. That doesn't mean I have to stick to that list. I can edit the list, but I'm going to take a list given by IOB. Number one. Number two, I would like to import a list of accounts provided by my accountant. For me to import a list, I should have a list somewhere. I should have exported the list from some other company to import to my company. Right? That option is possible if you are starting a new branch of a company. You have the existing account list, so you export that and you are importing it to the new branch. The carbon copy of that. Right? But in this case, we don't have such a carbon copy. We don't have any previous account list which is exported to import to this. So option number 2 is gone. Can't take it. Number 3, I would like to build my account list once I begin using my IOB. That means I am going to build the account list from the scratch, from the beginning, from zero base. Right? It is okay, you can do that, but it will take time. Right? It will take time and there are links between accounts. Then you will have to create all the links from the beginning. Right? Therefore, it is difficult. Sometimes it will take 3 to 4 weeks for you to build the accounts from the entire learning. Right? Therefore, because of that difficulty, we are not going with the third option. So we will go with the first option because we can customize and we can take an account list given by MyOB and then let's customize it according to our preference. Okay. So in 2 sessions, we can complete the account list and all the dashboard level. All right. Because of that convenience, even if you are preparing this for a real company, use that option. Right? If it's a new company, use that option because there are some customization features. Based on that, you can customize it to the industry. Okay. So select the first option, click on the next. Right. Now here, in this step, we are going to customize our accounts list to our particular industry, our particular business. Okay. First thing is industry classification. We have to broadly classify what is our industry. Click on the drop down arrow. Right. Click on the drop down arrow. You have number of industry classifications: agriculture, manufacturing, retail, service, other, and all. if you select all, you will have all the accounts in IOB in your list. So it's very difficult to customize. You will have thousands of accounts, right? But we have to customize it according to our business industry. Can you all tell me what is the suitable industry classification for this? Think of our business, our product range. Think of the services and products we are offering. We are offering both, right? Which will be more suitable? So it's a bit of a tricky point. Right? Right. In Sri Lankan cricket, you can use sometimes agriculture. But in this case, I know your options are you're having a dilemma between retail and service. Because we are selling some items at the same time we are providing some services. If you choose the services, you will have a very limited, since you all don't have experience. I'm just sharing my understanding. If you select services, you will have a very limited, very small accounts list, because for a service organization, you need very limited set of accounts, right? But since we are retailing, we are buying, selling, preparing, we have some operations, retail operations. Better to take the retail and then customize it for service. So having more accounts, then you can customize. It's easier, right? If you have service, you have to expand a lot to make it retail, right? Therefore, we will go with retail. All right, select the retail. I know it's a bit tricky here, but in the examination, I will not make it confusing. I will make it very clear what the industry you should select. Otherwise, the entire account list will be wrong, right? Therefore, I make it accurate. Then the type of business. Now you can customize further to suit your business, specific business type, right? Click on that drop down and tell me what is the most suitable industry type. Sorry, the business, very specific business. Sporting goods dealer, right? There's an option called sporting goods dealer. So we will select that. Right? Select it, click on use business type, or you can even double click on that. Sporting goods dealer. Right? When you select your industry classification and type of business, your account list is customized according to that. Right? You get only the accounts relevant for this type of a business. If you want to take a printout and see, you can click on the print button, but your computers are not connected to printers. You can't do that because accountants have this mentality. You're taking the printout and looking at it rather than looking on the soft copy, right? Even we have that mentality. That's more convenient to tick on a paper, right? So if you want, you can do that, but here we don't need that. Then you can go to the next step, right? Click on the next step. Right. This step is very important. This step has failed some students at the exam. This step. Carefully listen. Even though this looks a very simple step, this is where you save your company file, the location, right? Many students just ignore this step and go to the next step, right? This says your company file will be saved in C, IOB program files, certificate as a certificate club private limited, right? Then if you just skip this step without changing the location, after doing all your work, you can't find the company file where it is located. It's located in C program files inside my IOB program files or that, right? So remember, you have to modify, edit the location, change the location of storing your company file, right? So at this stage, always click on this change button, right? Click on this change button. And in the browser, right? So I'm creating on my desktop. If you have your server or something to store your documents, you have yours. I mean, in the SAP, do you have a server or something to store your? No. Then in your desktop, just store it, and after completing the work, you can take that company file to your Google Drive or whatever it is. Right? I'll tell you that later. Now here on the desktop, I'm creating a folder, new folder called Malinta 004 for my own company file. I'm creating a folder. Okay. I'm creating a folder for my name. And then I go into that folder. Okay. I go into that, I double click on that folder and I went into that folder. So this is my location to store my company file. Okay. To store my company file, this is the location. So here you can see the file name is SAP Cricket Private Limited -000 and save as type MyOB data file. Within brackets, you can see the file type is .myo. MyOB files format is .myo. That is the file type. Okay. Just like you have PDF, .pdf, .dox, like that. MyOB file, company files format is .myo. Right. Therefore, after making sure the name is correct and the file type is selected, click on Save button. Click on the Save button. Then you can see the company file location has changed. Right? Company file location has changed. Then you can go to the next step. Right? You can go to the next step. That is that you have created the company file. Congratulations. Congratulations. You have created the company file. You have then you have two options. Either you can start with a setup assistant. That option will help you to set up the company background, right? While starting. And the next option is command centers. Command centers means you are directly going to the command centers of the company. Okay. Since you all are new to the software, you should not go to the setup assistant directly. So you will have to set up everything. First, we will go to the command centers. We will see the company. We'll enjoy that we have created the company and all that. Thereafter, we will one by one, we will customize or set up the company. Right? So click on command centers to open the company. So you will have this type of an interface. You can maximize it with these buttons right here. Now this is the interface of your company. I know it's not so nice. It's boring looking interface, right? For an accountant. Anyway, this can handle your accounting work. So we'll be happy with that. It's not the 3D or modern looking icons you have, right? So in this interface, there are certain things you have to understand, certain terminology you have to know, right? So this top bar is called title bar, right? This top part is known as the title bar that contains the name of your company, right? Name of the software and the name of your company. Okay, title bar, that is known as title bar. If you are writing notes down, you can write notes down about that, because these notes are important for the mid-semester quiz and for you to remember how you came through these steps, right? And then after that you have tabs, right? File tab, edit tab, list tab, command centers tab. These are called tabs, the interface. All right. And then here you have some buttons called account, banking, sales, time billing, all this. These are called command center buttons. Right? These are called command center buttons. Right? These buttons are command center buttons. Command. Icons command center buttons. When you click on that button, right? When you click on accounts command center button, you are actually opening the accounts command center. Right? For you to open accounts command center, you click on that accounts command center button. All right, that is how we refer to that. And then this white color area, here, the small white color area, background, that is called flowchart area. Flowchart area in my UV. Why do we call it flowchart area? Do you notice? It shows a flowchart of the accounting process. When you go to accounts command center, you have the flowchart area, the white color area. In that you have a flowchart. It shows the accounting process that you are following. From the account list to recording the journal entry, then it will go to the transaction journal, right? So if you have the money controller, when you transfer money, that transaction will again go to the transaction journal. So that way, the accounting process, how the backend is working, that flow chart shows the process. All right. So these links are known as functions, right? Whatever the links available in this flowchart area, they are known as functions. For example, transfer money function here, right? Transfer money function, record journal entry function. All right, they are functions. And then at the bottom you have 4 buttons, 4 drop downs actually, right? They are known as option tools. Option tools. And ඔය වචන ටික ඕනේ වෙනවා quiz එකට. Right? මේවා photos දීලා round කරලා හවොත් එන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා you should be able to answer. That? No, not drop down. Here you have drop down menus. They are known as option tools. Option tools. To-do list is an option tool. Find transactions is an option. No, these 4, all 4. They are known as option tools. There are 4 option tools. Right? There? Okay. Right. So that is about the interface of the software. Right? Now you created the company. Okay. Now we will see how to close the company. It's a very easy step. Just click on the close button here. Right? Just click on the close button here. And it will ask you a pop-up message to take a backup of it. Let's say no. Right? Then your company file is closed. Go on. Close. Red color close button. Take an audience. No. Yes. Wait, you don't do anything, huh? Right. Okay. Now we are going to exit the company file. We are going to close the company file. The company is going to close the company. So here on the top right hand corner, just click the cross button, right? Cross button. Click on that. Then you will be asked to back up the company file. There's nothing to back up. So click on no button. Right? Click on no button. Right? Now the company is closed. So just go and see. There was a folder you created on the desktop. Here I have a folder called Malika 000. You have your own folder on the desktop. Open that folder and see how your company file appears there. Right? Your company file appears there as 2 files. One is the here from the file type you can track. One is MYO file and the other is BOX file. Right? One is MYO file. The icon may be different. Don't worry about it. The icon may be different. It's okay. Don't worry about it. But file type should be one is MYO, the other is BOX. Right? Out of these 2 files, your correct company file is MYO file. Right? MYO file. After closing it, this box file doesn't matter. I can even delete the box file. Don't delete the company file. The BOX file you can even delete. It doesn't matter, but don't delete. Just keep them. I just want to show that. That is not the right company file. The right company file is MYO files. Keep that. After today's learning, You have to take this company file as an email or as the you can upload to your Google Drive or whatever. Because next week you have to start with this company file. Next week you should download and start working on the same company. Okay? It's a continuation. It's a continuation of the company. All right? If you didn't change the location now you should understand. If you didn't save it in the right location, in the right folder, you won't be able to find the company file. Right? Then, yeah. It's okay. That's why I told you the icon in front of the company file will be different. That's okay. You don't have to worry about it. But anyway, if it's MYO in the as the file type, that is fine. That is enough. Okay. All right. Now we'll see how to open the company file and do some security preferences thereafter. Shall we take a break? You want a break? ඔයාගේ company file එක හොයාගන්න. මම හොයලා දෙන්න. දෙක වෙලාවට. Now first mark your attendance. Find just small error in LMS. We'll see. Okay, after the break, shall we mark attendance? Okay, take the break. 15 minutes, only 15. I tell you. एक है सॉफ्टवेयर के ओपन के बाद में सॉफ्टवेयर को ओपन करके पूछ लेगा
எல்லாரும் ఎందుకు நல்லா ఉంటారు அது வந்து உண்மையுமே நெட் பண்ணிட்டு மத்தவங்க கம்ப்யூட்டர்
Sure, I can.
They used to prepare finances.
Yeah.
It sounds like there is trade paper, enter breakup.
Yes. Right. Okay. Now, if you properly created the company file, you should have a company file in your folder, right? Just like this. In your case, you might have the MYO file and the BOX file, two files, right? Sometimes your icon may not be the same. Icon may be different in Word, Excel, whatever it is, I don't know, right? Whatever the icon is, make sure the file type is FYO. All right, file type should be FYO. Here, this one, type. Okay. Now, you don't have to double click on this folder and this file and open the company file, right? How you open the company file on the second day of your work, right? You open the software again, Go to the software on the desktop, open the software, and then you have open button, right? Click on that open button, right? And then on the desktop, look into that folder, right? Look inside your folder. In that folder, you will find the company file you created. Okay. That is the, here you can see the file type is MYOB or MYO. So here you find the file, select that file and click on open. Then you will get this window. Okay. Then administrator, there's no password. Then you can click on OK button. Right. Right. Then you are given a few options. First one, either I can activate the company, either I can activate the software, right? First option. The second option, I want to activate my company file by phone in the phone service. No. Third option, I want to activate my company file later. This is the test drive or the student version. Right. So since we are poor, we can't pay for license. We will go with the student version for learning purpose. Select the third option and we will click on continue. But always remember you have to go with the third option, the student version, right? Or test drive or the student version. Continue. Then you will get a message. Your file will be expired. You have only 90 days left. So 90 days is 3 months. We can learn in 3 months. Click OK. And here you get a verification company file verification. Click no, right? There's no verification required. Then again, you will be in the same place. Okay. All right. You will be in the same command center B. You can't hear. I think that the battery backup is not. Can you hear me? No, right? Can't. You can't hear me, huh? And it. The battery is not working. So I'll speak a little loud. Okay. All right. Now carefully listen without your own talks. You can hear that. Now we open the company file. And then there's something called setting preferences in MyOB. Setting preferences means we are making sure our company file, the way we work is set up according to our preferred way. Okay. So if you are writing down notes, we are going to set the preferences, set up preferences. That is the path. You go to the setup tab and go to preferences. Okay. So when you are writing notes in MyOB, you don't have to write lengthy notes like in other subjects. You just mention the heading, just mention the steps, right? Setup. What is preferences. Thereafter, in the preferences, you have number of tabs, right? You have number of tabs. You can go with system preferences, Windows preferences, reports and formats, banking, sales, all these preferences are there, right? So here we are going with the security preferences, the last one, right? Here we are going with the security preferences. So that is the last one. Okay. Here in the security preferences, you have number of preferences to tick or untick, select or deselect, right? The first preference is transactions can't be changed. They must be reversed, right? What is that preference? Usually, when there is a transaction in an organization, in a normal organization, let me wear my spectacles. I'm getting a bit old now, right? Transactions can't be changed. They should be reversed. Okay. What is the meaning? In an accounting, in our accounting profession, usually when we are entering a transaction, that should not be entered, right? Usually a transaction should not be edited. For example, the accountant comes and records a transaction. Then another accountant or an assistant accountant comes and edit that transaction, right? So that has a problem, right? Then how can we track the transaction? How can we track whether that transaction was properly recorded? Therefore, we have to make sure, right? We have to make sure transactions cannot be edited. If you want to make any changes to that transaction, you can enter a reversal entry. That is how we do in error correction, correction of errors. We call that correction of errors in accounting. We record a reversal entry, right? We don't go and edit the transaction. Okay. Therefore, that is a very good preference for a real business. But we have to first understand we are learning this software, right? Since we are learning this software, if we keep that preference as very strict, we are not allowing to edit the transaction, you will be having so many transactions to enter the reversal entry. Since you all are learning now, right? You can make mistakes. Since you all are going to make mistakes, we expect you to make mistakes, right? So we have to keep that option open, allowing the transactions to be edited. Understood? Therefore, we will not select that option. We will keep it open. But it's not a good practice for a real company. Understand that also. Okay? But we are keeping it open because it's learning purpose. Second preference, lock period disallow entries prior to 1st of April. That is okay. But anyway, since our starting date is 1st April 2023, before that we will not be allowed to enter we don't have financial year before that, right? Therefore, at the moment, we don't have to lock that. If we have continued the software for a number of years and we are in a particular year, then we can lock the transactions prior to that particular date. Then previous year transactions, you can't keep transactions for previous years. After generating your financial statement, right? Final account like income statement, balance sheet, all that. If you allow anyone to enter transactions for that period, then all will be wrong, right? Once you practice it in real case, you can lock period prior to that. But in this case, this is our first year. Therefore, no point of locking the previous period. There is no previous period. All right. Therefore, we'll ignore that as well. Number 3, prompt for data backup when closing. This is what you got as a notification when you close the company file. You got a prompt message to take a backup. Understood? So here we will remove that, deselect that, because we don't want to get that pop-up message unnecessarily all the time. Okay, remove that. So it will give you a pop-up message. You are taking a risk by not backing up, right? So I use my own backup procedures. Yes. Click on that. I use my own backup procedure. Okay. All right. Then prompt for session report when closing, right? If you select that option, it will provide you a report of all the transactions you have done in the day once you close down the company file, right? So at the moment, that pop-up message will also be a disturbance for our procedure. Therefore, we are removing it. But if you really want to check what has happened in a particular day in a real company, you could have taken it. You could have kept it. But for our learning purpose, I am removing that as well, right? Next preference, warn before recording a post-dated transaction. That is a good preference to keep, right? If you are trying to record a post-dated transaction, that means a future transaction, that will give you a warning, right? Because transactions should be historical. You can't be recording future transactions, right? Therefore, but in this case, a future transaction will be allowed because we are now living in 2026, right? We are operating a case study that happened in 2023. So anyway, it will be allowed, but we will try to stop for future entering future transactions, right? Post-dated transactions, we will keep it, the warning. Then check data file for errors before the backup procedure. That is important. You can click on that because company file should be checked for errors before taking the backup. Otherwise, what will happen is you will be backing up the company file, taking the backup of the company file with an error, right? Company file may be having errors. Having errors, you will be taking the backup. So backup is an erroneous file. So we should not do that. Therefore, we will make sure check data file for errors before the backup process. Okay. Then prompt for data verification when opening. Let's remove it. Deselect or we'll remove it and click OK. Because when opening the company file, we can run a data verification, but since we are recording only a few transactions per day, so we don't need to take that disturbance, right? Next preference is I prefer to use automated online company file confirmation. That automated online confirmation, we should not use it because we are not anyway using this as a online version, right? Therefore, that is not relevant for this version actually. Therefore, we will keep it blank. Last one, use audit trail tracking. In that case, for every transaction, there will be audit trail. Then that will be important for auditors. Right? If auditors want to trace what has happened, who has done this transaction and all that, that audit trail tracking will be important. But here our objective is to learn the basic accounting function, right? Since we will not complicate our life by including additional reports, therefore we will not include that, right? So only two security preferences we have kept are warn before recording post-dated transactions and check data file for errors, right? Keep only these two. I hope you all can hear. Can't hear. Keep only these two preferences and remove all other preferences. That's the final outcome. You all can hear, no? Can you all join to this online session from that computer side? Then you can hear. Okay. Do you have the link of this? LMS is also not working. Right. So those are the preferences. Then, right. Then there is another thing I want to discuss here. When multiple people are working on this company file, right? For example, two accountants may be working in the same company, right? Maybe three people. Okay, when more than one person is working with the software, right? I want you all to listen, pay attention to this side and listen. When more than one person is working with the software, different people should have different logins, and those logins should have some restrictions. One person may be allowed to work with banking command center, but he should not have access to the accounts command center. That's called segregation of duties as an internal control, right? The one who is working with purchases should not have access to payments. Purchase payments account right? So there should be internal controls for multiple users. Now we will see how to create users and restrict certain areas. I'll create one as a sample. We'll create one user and I'll show you how to restrict certain areas for that particular user. Okay, right. So in this security preferences, you can see at the bottom, there is a button called user IDs. User IDs. the button, right? Click on that button. Okay. Now here there are no any user IDs created except the administrator original login. Right? If you can remember, you logged in as the administrator without any password, right? So you are the administrator. Here we are going to create a new login. Okay. So here you have a button called new. Click on the new button. Now we are going to create a user ID. I will create it as user 1. User 1 is the name. Okay. User 1 is the name. Then you have to enter a password. Okay. Enter the password as 123, please. 123. Nothing else. Huh? I know you will be asking the password from me. Right? Password should be 123. In a real company, type a good password that no one can break. But here, type it as 123 because next week you will be asking the password from me. What is the password? So, right? User 1, password 123, click OK. Right. Now we have a user ID. We have a new user ID. For this user ID, you can see what are the areas allowed or disallowed on the right side, the table, right? You can see accounts, command center, and all the sub functions. You have the accounts, that is the command center name, and the functions name, function names, and sub function names, right? Now, for example, let's say user 1 is not allowed to enter the banking command center. You can restrict one by one or entire function, right? So I'm restricting user 1 to access banking command center. In front of that, there are, you have to just click here, right? In front of banking, when you click, you can see the entire function will be crossed, blocked for that person, that user. Okay. And also, let's say we block sales and receivables also. Block sales and receivables also for this user. Okay. All right. All right. Block don't block all the functions, right? Block only the banking and the receivables and sales and receivables. Okay. And then click OK. Click OK. Click OK. And again click OK here. Click OK for the preferences. And now let's close the company. I am the administrator, right? I was the administrator. Listen. I am the administrator. I created this user as the administrator, right? Now I'm logging out as the administrator and closing down the company. Close it. Right. Now let's open the company again. Open the software. Click on open button, right? Select the company file. We are opening the company file again, right? Select the company file and click open. Now don't run as the administrator, run as user 1, right? Log in as user 1 now. Log in as user 1. Name user ID is user 1. The password is 123. Okay. Then you can click OK. Select the third option because it's the student version, right? And continue. Click OK. Click on no, right? Right. Now this is the same company file, but you are logging as user 1. Okay, all right. You logged in to the same company file, but as the user 1. Okay. Then I go to the accounts command center. I just want to show you. I go to the accounts command center. Click on accounts list. Click on accounts list. You can go to the accounts list, right? You can view the accounts list. Okay, there's no problem. You can view the account list when you go to the account list command, accounts command center. and then close it. Just close it. Then go to the banking command center. Go to the banking command center. Okay. In the banking command center, try to click on something like reconcile accounts or something. Your user ID does not allow access to this window, right? Your user ID does not allow you to access to this window. Okay, right? So that means user one is restricted from certain functions. So that is the learning. That way you can create any number of users, restrict certain areas, and allow them to only operate the allowed function. Right? Now we'll having that learning, we'll log out from, we'll close the company file and log in as the administrator. Okay. Close, no backups. And now we are going to open the company file again. Open, select the company file, right? Administrator. If the administrator doesn't automatically appear, if user one appears, type as administrator. Okay, type as administrator, and then click OK. Okay, select 90 days remaining. Okay, select 90 days remaining and continue. All right. Okay. Now we'll look at the accounts list of this company. Okay, we'll look at the account list of this company in the accounts command center. Okay, in the accounts command center, go to the accounts list. Go to the accounts list. In the accounts list, you can see all accounts, right? All accounts. You go down, scroll. You can scroll down and see what are the accounts available there, right? And then you can look at the different tabs, right? There are a number of tabs here. One is assets, right? Liability, equity, income, cost of sales, expenses, other income, and other expenses, right? All these accounts tabs are there. So usually in our accounting, we have separate categories of accounts: equity accounts, liability accounts, what else? Asset accounts, expense accounts, and income accounts. Those are the basic classification of accounts. Those are the basis for accounting equation, right? Even in MyOB, the same accounting equation is running back in the background. But some of the major categories are divided into subcategories to make sure in the income statement, different and the balance sheet, in the income statement and the balance sheet, all the subcategories are properly segmented. For example, you have assets. So assets, they can recognize as current assets and non-current assets easily. But when it comes to income, right? Income and other income are separately classified in two categories. You can see that, right? You have one category for income and also another category for other income, right? Because in the income statement, you have other income separately, original income and the other income. As expenses also, in the expenses and the cost of sales are differently classified, because cost of sales come in the trade account, other expenses come in the income statement, right? So that classifications are there. If you just look at the numbers are coming in a particular order. All asset accounts are starting with 1. You can see that numbering format, right? All the asset accounts are starting with 1. Liability accounts are starting with 2. Equity 3, income 4, like that. All the classifications are starting with the same number. So wherever you see the account, you should be able to identify this is a liability account, this is an asset account, this is a whatever this account. All right. So that is the accounts classification. Right. Now, since this is the first day, right, I want you all to just walk through this company file. Okay. And another one point. Just go to the setup tab. Go to the setup tab and go to the company information. Under setup tab, go to the company information, right? There you can see the basic information of your company, right? As I told you, you can change some information. Even the company name you can change. Company address you can change. See, these are modifiable here. You can change them here. Phone number, email address, even this ABN numbers, all these stuff you can change. But there's one thing you can't change. Fixed. What is it? The financial year, the conversion month, and that financial year data you can't change. Right? That is why you have to be very careful when designing, when creating the company file. This financial year data you should carefully set. Okay, right. Now that's okay. Since this is your first day in the software, I don't want to pack up with a lot of stuff, right? So now today we learned how to create the company file, how to set the security preferences by including the creating of user accounts, and how we can refer to the accounts list, right? So I want you all to close the company file from here, and then in your folder, right? In your folder, so here you have the company file and the BOX file. This company file is your file. This is your MYO file is your company file. Always remember that. The file format of company file is .myo. All right. .myo is the format of your company file. So you have to take this MYO file maybe to your email, maybe to your Google Drive, maybe to WhatsApp, I don't know, whatever it is. By next week, you should bring the same company file. That is the objective. Right? You can upload this to your Google Drive. That is the best option. Right? So you have to bring the same company file next week. You have to continue this company file properly, right? Accumulating all the transactions every day. Then there will be 3 submissions, right? There will be 3 to 4 submissions. You have to just submit this file, right? That will be considered for marking. I want to ensure you are continuously learning. Right? You have to submit your company file time to time, so that will be marked for evaluation. Right? Therefore, make sure you maintain your company file properly. Right? So you all can upload your company files for the day. We'll discuss. So I'm finishing early today. Right? I'm finishing a little early today. Then make sure you bring the company file next week. You all can upload it to your own device.